Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you a function to calculate age by years, months and days using SQL Server. This is a continuation from a previous video where I showed a script to calculate age by years, months and days as well. If you want to have a quick contact with me, you may visit my website at datagrupo.com or you can send me an email to wpons@datagrupo.com. Now, let's go see the function. As you can see on my screen, here's the full script for the function. Now, the function itself is basically the same script that we used before. The only difference is that we're going to put it into a function. In this case, this is the code to create the function. If you haven't seen this before, this is the basic commands to create a function. In this case, I'm using create or alter because I'm using SQL Server 2019. And starting on SQL Server 2016, you can use the create or alter commands to create a function or alter a function. A function has a structure a bit similar to a store procedure. It's not the same, but it's a bit similar. If you've seen a store procedure before, you know what I'm talking about. Now, just like in the script, we have our main variable, which is DOB. It's a datetime type of variable, and in the function normally you return a value. In this case, the value is actually the calculation of the years, the months, and the days of the person based on the date of birth. Now, just like on the script, we have our variables which are used for calculation purposes, and this is where the calculation happens. This is where we calculate total days, year, remaining days, month, and day to get the value that we need. And this is how we print the results to the screen. Okay. As you can see, there's some concatenation here to get the years, the months, and the days old of the person based on the date of birth. Now, let's see an example using several methods with the function. But before we go there, I just want to show you this. The function already exists on my database. I'm using a database called dbdemo. If I wanted to, I can just rerun the script and it's going to be fine. It's not going to show any error messages like the function already exists or anything like that, because it has a create or alter function. This is pretty useful and very dangerous, because if you make an improper change, you may override a good working function. But let's go see how it works. In order for me to show you how it works, the first example I'm going to show you is what I like to call a one-liner. Now, a one-liner is what it is, basically just one single line using a select statement and calling the function. Now, I have to pass a value to the function. In this case, it's going to be 1990 April 21st, and I'm going to do an alias to the result, and that alias is going to be called H. Now, let's select the whole line 54 in this case, and let's click on execute. Okay, now if you were born on this date, 1990 April 21st, you will be today 35 years, 1 month, and 13 days old. But this is given that today is June 4th, 2025. If I were to run this one-liner tomorrow, you will get basically the same result, except it will be 14 days. If I run this 2 days from now, it will be 15 days, and so on. Okay? Now let's go see another example. Okay, in this example, I'm going to use a temp table. As you can see right here, the temp table is going to be available only for my session. When I say my session, I'm referring to this connection right here. Okay, so these 3 lines are going to do several things. Number one is going to check that if the table exists, it will be dropped. In this case, I don't think that's going to happen because the table does not exist, but I have that as a precaution. Now, this line here creates the table. As you can see, it's a basic create table command where I specify the table name and the columns. Now the first column I'm going to put on is a bar card 20. It's going to be called person name, and the second column is going to be the datetime type of column, and it's going to be called date of birth. Okay. Now the third line is going to do an insert to that table. It's going to say, okay, I'm going to insert to the columns person name and date of birth the following values. Body is going to be Stephen, and we're going to use the same date of 1990 April 21st. Now we can run this as just one statement, and we should get no error messages so far. Let's put that more visible. And let's see what we get from that. Now, we're going to query that temp table, okay? And the way we're going to query the temp table is going to be by using the function. Now, the function, in order to be used, you have to be on, even though it's a temp table, you have to be on the database that has the function. Otherwise, it will not work. Now, we do a select statement. We select one column that's called person name, and then for the date of birth, we're going to call the function first, and within brackets, we're going to select the name of the column we're going to use, and we're going to do an alias to that. Then, for comparison purposes, I'm going to call the column itself, and I'm going to do an alias to that from the table person. Now, let's see what it looks like. There it is. Now, I have the person name, I got the human age, and I have the date of birth, in case I want to compare exactly. Why is this person 35 years, 1 month, and 13 days old? Because he was born in 1990, April 21st. Clever. Now, let's go see another example of a real table. In this case, let me just get rid of this. In this case, I have a real table. Okay, this is a physical table that's contained on this database. Okay, the table is called person as well, but it's a real table. Now, the table has the same columns as the temp table. I just put different values in it just to have fun. Okay, I have an alias for the function and I have an alias for the column. Now, let's see what we get when we run this. As you can see, this person is called Mark, was born in 1978, October 6th, and today the person will be 46 years, 7 months, and 27 days old. You can do basically the same thing with your current table. You just have to specify the function and the name of the column. Aliasing is optional unless you want a no column name over here. That's okay. Now let's go see a really quick query just to list all of the functions that you have in your database. As a bonus, I have included this query that will actually list all of the functions that you have on your database. Now, let's see what we get when we run it. As you can see right here, this is the result. And the result says, okay, your database name, name of the function, the schema, the type of function, the create date, and the modified date. Now, all of these queries will be put on a link available for you to download on the comments of the video. So if you want to download all of these examples of the function, you want to create the function in your database, you want to do some testing, you can do so as well. As usual, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment or send me an email directly, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.